What's going on, guys? This is John from Texas Wiles.
Rooster from Rooster Outdoors.
And you are listening to the Wiley Rooster Boys Outdoor Podcast. You know, the more I think about it, the more I think this is going to be more than 10 episodes this season. I think we're at, what, 8 or 9 right now? I think this is episode 9 of season 2. I believe.
God, it's going quick.
It is. So, I mean, I think we're going to be going far beyond 10 episodes this season, and that's fine, because, I'm just as fine with keeping on. I'm having fun with it.
Right.
We got Frankie back with us today with Juan Fish at a Time. That's his YouTube channel. That link will be in the description. Be sure to check him out. We're going to be going over the finalized, I guess you would call it, outline of the Texas versus Nebraska challenge, where Texas is going to stomp Nebraska. But before we get into that, I want to share with you guys, I went fishing this morning. I drove about an hour and a half over there close to Abilene, and took the kayak and everything. And, you know, getting the kayak in the water wasn't too bad at all. Cast out, first cast with a frog, boom, got a fish. Awesome. I fished for a couple hours in that one spot, and then I decided I want to jump spots. There's another body of water that is about 100 yards away. Now, I'm wearing Crocs. There's a lot of cactus, and my kayak, loaded down, weighs about 150, 160. Y'all know how hard it is to drag a almost 13-foot barge loaded down with soaking wet feet in Crocs?
I bet.
I got
you have a kayak caddy?
No.
No.
I wish. I broke both the ones I got. I made them out of 3/4 instead of 1-inch PVC.
Yeah, I bet that was pretty fun that time.
And I got cactus all in my feet because my Crocs kept slipping off. And it's rough,
that
man.
Sucks.
But I got 12 bass on the day. The biggest I caught, I think, was like maybe 2.5 pounds.
Dang.
It was still a really good day, but I have one pretty big complaint about a certain product. I don't really like bashing products on here because that's not what we're about. But this stuff is called Dymalon Braid. I saw an ad for it the other day and said 1,000 yards of it, or I'm sorry, 1,100 yards of this braid, and it was like $25. That should have been a red flag right there. But I love the way it feels. I love the way it casts. But the problem is, three times today, I got broke off. The first time I was like, all right, maybe I just had a weak spot in the line. The second time, I cast out there, and it was about 20 yards of line from my lure that snapped. So it snapped in like the middle of the line. And fortunately, the line was floating, so I went over there and got my lure back. But and then the third time, it snapped off on a fish. But there ain't no way that 20-pound braid should break that easily.
Right.
So if one of you guys want this stuff, I still got like 800 yards of this stuff if you want it.
I feel like you're trying to set us up for failure.
I think old Benny's gonna be upset when he goes fishing.
I was gonna text him and tell him, but you know, I might just wait to tell him Monday.
You buy the same stuff?
No, I spooled up his reel.
Oh.
I mean, to be fair, you did tell him you hadn't used it yet.
Yeah, that's true. But if you guys see this Dymalon, whatever it is, braid, it's on Amazon. Just pass, man. Don't use it. I was irritated. I did get broke off today by a fish on some of my fluorocarbon, my P-line that I was using, and that was because it got caught up in some vegetation. But another time, I cast out there, and there was like this. One of the bodies of water I was on was extremely covered. Like it was bad. So much vegetation on top, and there was like in the middle it was cleared, and then around the sides there were like 10 by 10 holes in the vegetation. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cast right there. So boom, I cast out right there in that 10 by 10 hole, and as soon as it hit the water, boom, I got a bite. And I'm like, yeah. So I go to reel in, and that sucker goes about 2 foot into the vegetation. And then I'm not moving him. I'm reeling in, pulling myself to him. And I finally get up next to him, and I try to lift him out of the water with my hands on the line. And it was so heavy with all that vegetation that it was cutting my hands. So
wow.
It took me about a minute and a half to finally figure out a way to reach down there and get this fish out of the water. But I got him. And he was like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. But I got him. But man, it was on fire today. I only caught 12, but it was a good day, man. I had a lot of fun.
That's 12 more than I got today. So.
And I am burnt. Oh my goodness, I am burnt. I got croc dots on my feet too.
Yeah. Two of the biggest things I hate when I go fishing that I always fear is getting hooked, or trying to pull your line and getting a line cut.
Oh man, those suck.
They sting forever. They take your hands. I feel like your hands take a while to heal.
And it seems like the line always migrates to one of the joints on your finger, so it slashes right there in the joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. But
Yeah.
that was my day. It was pretty good.
You know, when I was younger, I don't know if I told you guys this before, but we went fishing. I was sitting at a picnic table. I think I was like 10, maybe 11 years old. No, yeah, 11 years old or so. And my brother and I that's the very first time I remember fishing that my dad took us fishing. And my brother didn't know how to work a fishing pole. He pushed it was a push button. He pushed the button and released it as he was swinging it back.
Oh.
The hook came back and caught me in the nose.
Oh.
And then he yanked.
Oh my gosh, man. Ooh.
Yeah, that hurt. Needless to say, I was crying like a little baby, but
I don't blame you, dude. I'd have been. Oh my gosh.
it was not a fun experience. I'm just glad it didn't go through my nose and pierced my nose. You know, it just caught the skin and didn't go past the barb, so it was all
you
good.
imagine sitting there with the thing in your nose, having to try to cut the barb off?
Oh,
Yeah.
Going cross-eyed trying to look at it.
Yeah.
Whew.
You know what, though? I got lucky that it didn't catch my eye.
You're right. I've seen those pictures online of people getting hooked in their eye. Oh, that makes me sick.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
You ever see that kid on that boat there out deep sea fishing, caught that sailfish? That sucker jumped up through the boat, caught him through the cheek.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, I saw that. I also saw one where it went through this dude's calf.
Oh.
Like, it went between the bone and it separated the bone and the meat. Like, there was actually no damage. All he did was get stitches and he was good. That's a lucky guy right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
But before we get into anything else, let's take a break real quick. We'll be right back. Hey, y'all. I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys about one of our sponsors. Not only are they one of our sponsors, but they are an incredible American company, and they sell fire starting gear. The name of this company is Bigfoot Bushcraft. Now, this stuff works exactly as it is advertised. You take one of those plugs, expose the fibers, one strike with that ferro rod, you got yourself a flame. A decent flame at that. And this flame will burn for 5 minutes or more. So you get that thing put on your tinder, and that's more than enough time to get yourself a sustainable fire. So be sure to head on over to BigfootBushcraft.com. Use discount code WileyRoosterBoys, all one word, at checkout for 15% off your order. And every order placed with our discount code helps support our show. So get on over there, get you some gear, and get you a fire. All right, I think now we're going to get into the meat of this episode. What y'all think?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
My
I'm
pen's
down for that.
Top of the subject.
My pen is not working. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so the meat of this episode, is we have finalized the Texas versus Nebraska challenge. We spoke before there was going to be a point system and stuff like that, but as it turns out, that's just too much of a headache. Too much to keep up with, too much to think about, all that stuff. So we know what we need to do. We're going to do it, and it needs to be in the video. That's pretty much, I would say that's the basic gist of it, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how the videos are going to be scored is by you guys. So be sure to check out all of our YouTube channels. One Fish at a Time, Rooster Outdoors. I'm going to put the video on Texas Wiles, but I'm not going to promote from Texas Wiles. I'm going to put it on Wiley Rooster Boys, and I'm going to promote that one. Well, I don't know. There's really not many viewers on the Wiley Rooster Boys.
Honestly, you should just put on all three Wiley Rooster Boys and then both of your individual ones.
Yeah, I probably will end up promoting it from Texas Wiles because thinking about it now, how are we going to have viewers to rate it if Wiley Rooster Boys just start out?
Anything?
I'm sorry?
Does Cole have one, or is it just you, Frankie?
I don't think he has one. I think it's just me.
Okay. All right. Well, eventually I'm gonna hopefully get Wiley Rooster Boys channel up and running and get it running at the same capacity as the others. But until then, I guess I should promote from both, and we'll go from there. So if you guys are listening, please jump over to YouTube, find the Wiley Rooster Boys YouTube channel, and subscribe to that for a lot of really good stuff coming up in the near future. But I understand you found your spot, Frankie?
Yes, we did. And I've been super busy with my new job and stuff like that. And, I went from having 4 days a week off to working 5 days a week. So I only have 2 days a week off now. And we're in the process of moving my girlfriend and a bunch of stuff. So we finally went out there and we looked at our spot. My partner, he actually picked it out, which I think it's actually not a bad spot. The only thing is, I don't know how your weather's been over there lately, but around here it's been pretty warm. And we've gotten some rain, but not a lot. So the water is probably about 3 feet low, if not more.
Okay.
Lower than it should be.
Well, it's been mild lately.
So we've been pretty blessed there, dude. Really.
Yeah. Usually it's pushing 110 or so about now consistently, several days a week. But it's been mid 80s, low 90s, and we've been lucky this year. It's been pretty nice.
I heard the weatherman the other day on the news say Fort Worth area only had 6 days this year of 100 or above.
That's
wow.
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate here in Texas.
You usually got a zero behind that.
Yeah.
I can't say we've had a few 100-degree days, but I can't say we've had a super hot summer. We've had some pretty hot weeks, like 90s mostly.
Yeah.
But it takes a toll on the water and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And farming and all that, But yeah, we went out there. It was a little low. Another thing that it's kind of been stuck in my head a little bit is the water looks super green. There is no clear water out there right now at this lake that we're going to. But a good thing about it is the bass were pretty active.
Good.
We tossed out a couple lines, but mostly they're checking stuff out. The only downfall about this lake also, which is most lakes here in Nebraska, you're not allowed to keep a bass unless some lakes are 21 inches and bigger.
Whoa.
Other ones are 25 and bigger.
Dang.
I think here it's 14.
Yeah. So that's going to make it... I have to say we're probably not going to be eating bass.
Wow.
If we do catch something that big, like I was telling you guys about in a previous podcast, is, to catch a decent bass around here, it's pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
And if we did catch a nice bass that were 21 or 25 and bigger, I definitely wouldn't want to eat it, because it's so hard to catch a good bass.
It's rare. It's like a unicorn.
Exactly. That it's like, I don't want to kill one of the big ones off, So we definitely release it. So I can probably tell you that we will not be eating bass.
Well, where we're going to be is private property. So all bets are off on size limits.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, yeah. That's good.
So we can go that route.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, yeah, there's fish there, but getting them to bite is the problem.
Yeah.
It's rough. I I think I've maybe pulled 2 or 3 fish out of there in the past 3-4 months.
Yeah.
So I mean that's going to be a challenge, but persistence, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. The spot we're going to is it's pretty secluded to the point where if you need to go back there, you usually have to use a boat. You can't really get back there by walking,
Mm.
and that's gonna be nice. It's gonna give it more of a challenge. But the nice thing about it is, I think we should be able to walk quite a bit of water to fish different spots.
Well, that's
So,
good.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully y'all get some fish that y'all can eat.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, I'm
Oh,
not giving y'all too much luck because you know we're
I was gonna say,
competing
don't
here.
worry about that.
Yeah.
I'll be catching some fish.
I'm just saying it's the benefit of going and checking your water out before, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody's bringing tackle box of some sort, or at least each team is.
Right.
Yeah.
You kind of know what your targeted species are. I mean, I know there's catfish, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just, if it was me, I kind of know what I'd be going after.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right, exactly.
You know, ideally, I would prefer to get bluegill than bass because personally, I think bluegill are delicious. But
Yep.
Bluegill are great and they're abundant.
yes,
They're everywhere.
Yep.
So that'd be your safest bet when it comes to surviving. Honestly, in Nebraska, is bluegill's a safe bet for food.
And unfortunately, going on a state park, that's the nature of the beast. You got to abide by laws.
yeah.
Exactly.
But on that note, let's take our last break and we will come right back. All right. So we've established, Frankie, you ain't getting no fish. So there's that. We went and staked out our spot, and we found a pretty good spot. It's kind of heavily wooded. There's gonna have to be a fair amount of clearing before we can set up our camp. And the fire situation, being that everything's pretty dry around here, we got to be very conscientious about our fire. We haven't had a good rain in several weeks, I would say. Is that right?
I'd say that's great.
So we got to be very careful with our fire. I almost spilled the beans on something I wanted to make. Never mind. I'm gonna, yeah. And keep that close to the cuff. All right. But yeah, we staked out our area. Lots of trees that we can use to benefit us. So, and it's a distance to the body of water where we're gonna hopefully find some food, but it ain't gonna be too bad at all.
One thing I am happy about is what the weather's going to be here next weekend.
Oh, you were.
Good. It's gonna be in the 70s, so it won't be super hot.
You're better than we are. That's for sure. Because let me look at it right now. Ours, the high that day is gonna be 88.
Yeah.
I think the hottest will be 79 on Sunday, but I think we'll be out of there before it even hits 79 on Sunday.
Yeah.
So.
See, and I think, Frankie, one of the bigger advantages you guys are going to have on us is the water. Like John was saying, dude, we got to hike. I mean, it is crazy far, but drinking water, everything like that, dude, we got to do some walking.
It'll be a challenge, but man, I'm gonna tell you what. I am the way I say the way we have our campsite set up in our head. I hope that it turns out the way it is in our heads, because man, it is gonna be immaculate. It is gonna be a thing of beauty.
I'm not gonna lie, we haven't even thought about how we're gonna set up our camp. We went, checked out the spot. We're like, that looks like a good spot. If we don't like it, we can move over here. But we haven't even really thought about how we're gonna set it up. To me, I'd rather get there and figure it out.
That's the truth. I mean, things change.
Yeah.
Well, just like this point still, that's kind of why we did away with that. I mean.
Right.
See, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just signed, man. I mean, we got 24 hours. It's
What blows me away is the fact that we found out from your partner, Frankie, that you guys have only ever actually met in person once, and it was briefly.
Yeah,
So,
twice when we went to check out the spot.
okay, yeah, okay. Well, tell me why. And this isn't anything against him. I'm just curious. Somebody that you aren't exactly familiar with and all that stuff. Why would you choose him as a partner?
For one, the survival aspect of it.
Okay.
Let's say for some reason you did have to leave your home and survive on whatever you bring. You for one, you're gonna have to meet strangers if somebody else is also trying to survive out there.
Okay.
For two, I know he's the main reason why I chose him is because I know he likes fishing and he's kind of an outdoorsman because we got to talking about fishing and all that stuff, and he's like, "You want to go ice fishing?" And I'm just like, "That's my dude right there, man." Because I've only been ice fishing once, and that was when I went to Wisconsin with a friend, and I had a blast. But to me, if this dude is willing to go out there in freezing temperatures, freezing our toes off, like I know he'd be down to go out there and just try to survive, So
That struck me. It was pretty cool. I thought that was awesome. That this dude that you really didn't know on a daily basis, face to face.
Right.
I just thought that was cool that you chose somebody like that, and that adds another interesting aspect to it. Because whenever you get out there, who knows? You two could be polar opposites on what you want to do, and it could be
right.
It could be bad for your situation, could be good for your situation. You don't know.
And that's the whole survival aspect. It's like some things you have to compromise on, some things you can't compromise on.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting. I met him through gaming, and I found out that he lived by me, and it's like, oh, dude, we should go fishing sometime. And he's like, I'm going ice fishing. Let's go. And I'm like, bet. So.
I would love to go ice fishing, but I think the most ice I have ever seen in Texas was actually this past winter. Whenever Texas just shut down, we needed help, and I was actually having to. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was actually having to take the tractor, and because we have cattle and stuff out here, I was actually having to take the tractor, drive out to the tank, and use the bucket to bust the ice so the cows would have something to drink because we had no water. Yeah. And
right.
The ice, I think it was like 4 to 6 inches thick, man. I actually thought about trying to drive the tractor out there in one of the shallower ends to see if it could hold it, but I wasn't brave enough to do that. That's kind of an expensive mess up if it goes south.
And see that Nebraska gets cold where you can ice fish, but it doesn't really get as cold as northern states,
Well, of course.
And you can fish it. It's pretty safe to fish it, but you have to be very careful because it's not the thickest ice around Nebraska. This last winter when me and him met, we got it was for like a week or two. It was just completely freezing out. We had like 11... Well, we had up to 14 inches of snow in like 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
So we had a huge, huge storm come through. And then, the interstate was shut down. Like, everything was shut down, And it was crazy. Gladly, Nebraska is somewhat equipped for winter, obviously, because we have some decent winters.
Boy, Texas ain't. We proved that. Y'all can keep that weather. We don't need it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you'd love it, John. That's when I was living in Nebraska. Of course, I'm on the west side of the state. We're a little bit higher elevation. But, the rule of thumb was 4 inches. You can go a little bit under that, but really, Parks and Rec, they want you to stick with about 4 inches is what they say for a person.
Really?
You get about 6 inches, about when you can get an ATV.
Right.
I've gone to a few lakes up in northern west, I guess northwest Nebraska. And, I think once in my life I've seen that they had tractor out there and stuff on the ice. But,
yeah, in Nebraska,
dude, I went every year growing up, we always went ice fishing.
Yeah.
I'd love to go one day.
That's what was crazy to me. The very first time I went ice fishing, it was in Wisconsin. And it was like North Wisconsin, where it was like dang near Canada. Yeah. Like, northern Wisconsin people have that Canadian accent.
Right. Yeah.
And we went, and it was just like, when we're like, all right, so how are we gonna do this? And we're like, oh, we're just gonna take the side by side out there. And I'm just like, what? He's like, yeah, we're gonna hook up the trailer, take the side by side out there, and we can fish inside the trailer after we set up our tip ups. And I'm like, it's that thick? He's like, yeah, dude. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we did it, and it was crazy
Well, you know
because
what?
we were supposed to go up there for a fishing tournament,
If
but
this winter is that bad, like they're saying, they're suggesting our winter here is supposed to be rough. And if it gets
yeah,
that cold again and these tanks freeze, you can bet I'm going out there and I'm going to drop a line in through the ice and see what happens.
do your research on ice fishing, man. Always carry a spud bar.
I don't even know what that
And
is.
spud bar is just a big metal rod, and you poke in front of you to
Oh,
make sure
yeah.
if you hit it twice and it goes through the ice, it's not thick. It's not thick enough.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, I when I went to Wisconsin and Nebraska, when Chuck was saying like, he saw a tractor out there, or whatever. That's a rare sight to see a vehicle on the lake, on a frozen lake in Nebraska.
Right. But like I said, west side of the state's a lot higher than you are.
Yeah,
We're right there on the Colorado border.
right.
But yeah, dude, up there, Swan Lake. Actually, that's mid Nebraska up north. That's up towards Valentine. I mean, it gets plenty cold enough up there. Just depending on where you're going.
Yep.
Now in Oglala, I never seen ice that thick, but plenty of thick enough for a person or an ATV.
What I'm
Yeah.
excited about this transition is I even noticed today with the weather change that we've been having, the fish are moving up and they're starting to feed more shallow and they're starting to get really
Yes.
aggressive. And I'm excited about that. I really thought that this summer was going to be phenomenal fishing, but dude, I'm telling you, something is going on in Texas where everything is like a month or two off. And because our spawn was a joke. It really was. But now that we're getting into fall, I'm looking forward to getting out there on the kayak and stuff and doing a lot of fall fishing because it's got to be better than summer,
I didn't even get to fish the spawn.
Well, if you'd been here, you wouldn't have been missing. Well, you were here briefly.
Yeah, in the summer. Well, our spawn is usually winter.
Oh,
Or not winter, sorry, spring.
Well, ours was. When were you here? When did you come down?
It was midsummer. It was like July,
Oh, was it?
early July. Yeah.
Wow, that feels like it was last week.
Right, I know it. Time goes way too fast, dude.
Okay, never mind. So yeah, you weren't here for the spawn, but yeah, you wouldn't miss nothing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I missed every single fish on that lake that we fished anyways.
I don't know that spawn hit we hit, John. On that
Oh,
lake.
okay,
That day
yeah.
we got 40 something.
That was beautiful.
And I agree with you, John, that the temperature change, it's always, in Nebraska, spring and fall is the best time to fish, period.
Mm-hmm.
Spring, the spawn. Fall is when fish starting to come up because the weather, or the water's starting to cool off a little bit.
Trying to put on that weight for winter.
Yeah, so they're coming up to feed more often. You see them more active. Here in the summer, it's not really great for fishing. Everything kind of just dies off. They stay closer to the bottom. Unless you're catfishing, bass fishing is really not that great.
Mm-hmm. This just popped in my head. I ordered. We were talking about kayak fishing earlier, and the way my brain works, this just popped in. But anyway, a while back I ordered these flex wings for my kayak. I have a Bonafide SS127, and you can buy these flex wings that you put on the back underneath. You take off your skid plates, you put these in, and they help with tracking and stuff like that. And they're supposed to keep it to where, I'm sure you guys know that on your last stroke, whenever you go to stop, usually your kayak will keep on with that momentum in that turn, Well, these flex wings are supposed to cut that out. On your last stroke, they keep you going straight. And they kind of did today. Not as good as I expected, but what I will say is how phenomenal they were on helping me counter the wind. It was pretty windy today, and I actually maintained my direction without even doing anything. Those flex wings helped a lot. I forgot to mention that earlier.
I mean, what does it cost? They're like 40, $50?
I think they were 25 or 30.
Even cheaper. So I mean, that's real nice, affordable add-on.
Yeah, and it took me like 90 seconds to put them on. Oh,
Yeah.
they were labeled wrong though.
Were they?
Yeah, it said right and left, and that was not right and left. That wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, apparently we're gonna take kayaks out there too.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, but they're not going to count as your item since you're not going to fish from them,
Right.
or whatever, however y'all decide to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea until he told me. He's like, yeah, I talked to him. I think we should take the kayaks out here. I'm like, well, I don't have a kayak. He's like, that's all right. I got two. And I'm like, okay, sounds good.
All right. You should definitely get one.
Yeah. I contemplated it so many times on getting one. And I'm just like, just get a fishing boat, dude. Get like a bass boat or something, you know. And I'm like, maybe kayak is a lot easier to transport than a fishing boat, you know. And
Yeah, no titles, no registration, nothing
exactly.
like that. But if you want to get from this side of the lake to the other side of the lake quickly, you ain't doing that in a kayak.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say, they both have their pros and cons.
Yeah, and like, you know, me and my buddy went fishing a few times, and he's got a little boat, and we just worked the perimeter of the whole lake and went bass fishing, and it's a lot easier to do that in a boat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless you're just blessed with a great day with the perfect wind that will just move you in the direction that you want.
Yeah,
I've
that's
only
true.
experienced one of those days, but
until you get some white caps out there and can't make it back in.
Right.
that almost happened to me on my Tamarack. I went out to Palapena Lake. This is probably like the second week after I bought that thing. Little bitty 10-foot Tamarack. I'm fat. I'm on this thing. So I go out there a ways, and the wind just kicked up bad. It starts white capping like crazy, and I'm panicking like, oh, I got to get back. And so I'm paddling as fast as I can, and I'm coming up over these swells, and like the water is just going over the front of that kayak and just sinking the front of the kayak in, come back up, and dude, I got out, but man, it was rough.
Yep.
Learned my
Well, it's
lesson
like-
there.
Me and you went out that time when I got my kayak. Yeah, it was both of us had the lifetimes then.
Yeah,
At, Lake Mineral Wells.
yeah,
We got
yeah.
all the way across the lake, and then that wind picked up. And it's like early spring. I mean, the water's still cold. The temperatures was getting up, 50, 60 degrees, but the water was still cold.
Mm-hmm.
Drenched head to toe.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, dude.
That was whenever I looked over. You were probably like 60 yards from me. I looked over. I was like, "This is a bad idea."
Just going across that, man. Every
Yeah.
time them waves just rolling over the front of that.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a YouTuber out there that I watched that he made a kayak out of duct tape and sticks.
Fowler.
Yeah, and he did that survival challenge, and he went out to that little island, and that kayak filled up with water. By the time he made it there, he barely made it.
Barely.
I actually
And
just
on-
started watching his newest one, that 7-Day Island Survival. The first
Yeah,
episode
I
came out
watched-
last night.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I watched it this morning. It was pretty good.
Mhm.
On the way back from that survival that he did, he had all his camera equipment in his kayak, so it was filling up with water. So he was paddling hard to
Oh
shore.
man,
Yeah,
you need to watch his Waterworld one.
Waterworld.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude made a 16 by 14 barge out of plywood and totes.
yeah. I started watching that one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yep. Amazing.
One day.
I'm telling you, that 18-year plan.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this will be the first of the challenges, and I think this one will go so well that there's definitely going to be future challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
Between us. I think it's fun.
But they got to be longer than 24 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's all four of us. We want it to be longer than 24 hours. I understand that schedules and stuff like that, it's not allowing it. But one of these days, we can do that.
Well, Frankie, I was showing John a video the other day, or I was telling him about it. This guy I watched did a $20 Dollar Tree challenge.
Yeah.
Dollar Tree, everything's $1. So he went
Yeah.
with $20. He did a week.
Oh wow! On $20 at the Dollar Tree.
Drive.
Oh my goodness,
Drive
dude!
pretty good. Like it was pretty spicy. He actually, if you watch Fowler, did you ever see the 30-day survival challenge Texas Fowler did?
I don't think so.
Okay, well if you do, it's the guy that plays with him on the 30-day challenge in Texas.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I did watch that because they.
The channel's like Drop Forge Survival or something like that. But yeah, he did a $20 Dollar Tree challenge for 7 days,
Wow.
and he did good.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a hell of a survival skill right there.
I thought it'd be pretty fun.
I
I
think
don't know
so
if
too.
we
Right. I think we're going to end this one right here. I don't know if we have anything else pressing right now we need to bring up or not, but
really next week. I think me and you were doing a special episode for the podcast.
we are. Absolutely. I cannot guarantee that it will be put up that night,
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be live from location. That's for sure.
yeah, that's for sure. So, yeah, guys, let's wrap it up here and be looking forward to next week because what we say Tuesday. Yeah, the video we got to do premieres on these videos. The release date is going to be the 28th at noon is when all the videos are going to drop. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. As always, we appreciate you watching. Please if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe. If you're listening to us on any podcast platform, please rate us, share us, subscribe. And
I just wanted to say, Frankie, appreciate you coming on the show again, man. We do appreciate it.
yes, sir.
Always, man. It's always fun talking to you guys. I like sharing stories and learning more from each other.
That's it.
It's only the beginning. But all right, guys. We will see y'all next week. God bless.
Have a good one.
Later.